detective called me to tell me that they went ahead and arrested Christian. Later that night, I had all the local media wanting to come in and interview me. I just didn't believe it.
Amy Turros is Fier's girlfriend. She believes this isn't the Christian she knows. Her Christian wouldn't hurt anyone.
He came over a couple times during the day to check on me, get me something to drink, turn the channel on the TV. Just perfect gentleman. I don't even remember that interview. I honestly don't know what is making me emotional about it. Maybe because I've never seen it. And I'm sitting there defending a guilty person. I was very convinced that he was innocent. I wouldn't have gone on TV and tried to just hope he was innocent. I really believed he was innocent. From the beginning to a few years ago, I loved Christian. It wasn't like he was the perfect boyfriend and then became a monster, or was a monster and then became a perfect boyfriend. He was both at the same time. But I've never saw the dark side, and to this day, sitting here in this chair, he's never treated me badly. I held my story, and because people instantly say, he was bad, why are you hurting over somebody that's so bad? It's different when you're the one that loves a murderer. It's so hard to know what I know. Knowing the things that I've never told anybody that I live with. I don't know if I can ever forgive myself or free myself from the guilt of trusting and believing him. My friend worked at the tavern at the corner of my house, and I was in there. He was sitting beside me, and she introduced me, and we instantly clicked and just started a conversation.
Christian.
Amy.
Nice to meet you.
What attracted me to Christian right off the bat was his smile, his laughter, and his rugged look.
So, what do you do?
Christian cut down trees for a living. He loved the adrenaline because it was dangerous. We talked for hours. Christian was recently divorced. He had a son that was almost 2, that he really loved. When I looked into his eyes, Christian made me feel like I was the only one in the room. It was like an instant bond where the next day we were together, and the next day, and it just went on from there. At the time, I didn't recognize any signs. He promised he would always treat me right. He would always tell me the truth. Promises that obviously were broken. Looking back now, there's a few things that I should have questioned but didn't know to question. Christian lived right down the street, about a 5-minute walk. I would go home after work and he would come over and cook dinner, but it wasn't like any other relationship I've ever been in. He didn't rush me or pressure me. The first few times we spent the night together, we didn't sleep together. But when I was ready, there were certain things he did not want me to do. We were in the heat of the moment, and he stopped me and said no.
Wait. You don't have to do that.
Certain sexual positions were dirty. I was too good for that. And then I thought, well, that's odd. It really surprised me when there were certain things he did not want me to do.
Only a whore would do that.
Oh.
No.
The way he worded it was, no, you're better than that.
I just want to be close to you.
But it really made me feel that he appreciated me, and it was more intimate, thinking about me and not just a sexual act. He felt I was better than that. But looking back, I think he thought, this sexual positions and types were for more of people he felt were beneath him. Maybe that he had a bitterness towards. There were times after work, Christian would be dropped off at the bars on the south side of Columbus and call and say that his coworkers dropped him off and for me to come there and pick him up after work. Each side of town has its own feel. The south side was a bit rougher. That side of town is not a place I would just go to. When I would walk in, part of me would look around and think, what is he doing here? It was definitely a different crowd of people. Hey, babe.
Hey!
I wanted to order something to drink and socialize, meet his friends.
Let's get out of here.
Wait. No. Let's have a drink.
But instantly he'd be like, let's go, I'm ready to go home. I would ask him, like, why can't we just stay and have a beer and, say hi, I just got off work. But I would never get to stay and talk to anybody or meet anybody.
I'm just really, really tired. Do you mind if we just go home?
And I would be rushed out. I didn't know it at the time, but later I found out that those were places that prostitutes would hang out. And his victims were prostitutes. Most of the time I can account for his whereabouts. Most of the time. But there were a few times when I couldn't.
Christian?
The nights that he didn't stay at my house, I would get up a little bit earlier. He only lived like a block away from me. I would go to his house and I never knocked. I just walked right in.
Christian?
Most of the time he would be home. But there were some mornings, not many, but some, that I would hear his alarm blaring and he wouldn't be there. First I'd think, oh, he's in the shower and doesn't hear the alarm. And then I'd go in and realize he wasn't in the shower, he wasn't home. I first turned off the alarm and I felt the bed to see if it was warm, and it was cold. So the first time or two, I think I was like, where is he? I left and I went to work, and I thought about it all day long, like, where could he be? But when I'd see him that evening, he always had a good answer. One of his coworkers picked him up early because they had to get stuff together before a job, and he forgot to turn the alarm off before he left. So there was always something that was believable. I never felt there was a reason to question or worry. It never crossed my mind that he could have been out committing crimes or hurting anybody. I never had that gut feeling like something isn't right. When I learned about Christian, it all raced through my head. Did I miss signs? Did I miss flags? But Christian was so good at having me believe he was honest and genuine. One night we were going to go get something to eat. Christian greeted me at the door, and went in and sat down while he jumped in the shower real quick. When I was sitting on the couch and on the coffee table was a paper plate with a bunch of matches. It was more than just a handful. There were tons of them. I asked, what is this? And he said the night before he was just bored and just lighting matches, watching them burn and tossing them. He didn't have TV, he didn't have cable, so I figured besides reading a book, he was bored to death.
You ready?
What's all this?
Couldn't sleep last night. Just killing time.
I never doubted anything he said. I didn't have a reason to.
I'll clean it up later. Come on, let's go.
Looking back now, I believe he was sitting there on the couch, smoking crack with his victims. And girls were easy to lure in. A lot of the girls were called strawberries. I later learned that a strawberry is a woman that will trade sexual acts for drugs. Christian would pick up strawberries, and then he hurt them. When Christian came over one night, I was in the kitchen.
Hey.
He walked in just like any other night, smiled, and said he got me a gift. Wasn't maybe a rose or two from the gas station counter, but an actual gift, no. It was a jacket, and it wasn't gift wrapped. I knew it wasn't brand new.
Try it on.
He was really happy to give me this jacket. I tried the jacket on.
Wow.
And he smiled. I could tell it made him feel good to see me put it on.
What do you think?
It was black leather fringed. The jacket wasn't my style, but it was very sweet, and it made me feel good that he thought of me and gave me the gift. I didn't want to disappoint him and act like I didn't like it.
I love it. Thank you.
Gave him a hug and a kiss and thanked him. And then I went and hung it up. After I put the jacket up in the closet, I didn't think about it again until the detectives were there and asked me if Christian had ever gotten me any gifts. That jacket was one of the girls he had murdered. After learning about the jacket, so many thoughts and questions went through my head. Did he just commit that crime before and came straight to my house and handed me the jacket? Was the jacket hidden for a couple days? Like, I don't know, and I don't have any answers, and when you don't have answers, it makes it even worse. Christian and I met up at the bar after work, and I had a little bit too much to drink and was ready to go. So we got in my car and he drove me home. I remember we were sitting in the living room for a while, and then he wanted to go get his truck from the bar.
Wait, where are you going?
I left my tools in the truck and I have to work in the morning.
He said he would be back and to lock the door and don't let anybody in, which struck me odd. And he walked up to the bar. I was on the couch and I was dozing in and out. I don't know exactly how long he was gone. It didn't seem like it was hours, but it was a lot longer than going up and getting his vehicle and coming back. I know it was still dark when he came back. There was no signs of nervousness or anything. When he came back, he put a cool wash rag on my forehead and he stroked me.
You should feel better.
And right before that, he killed somebody with those same hands. The detective said that he did it with his hands. Thinking back to all the times, Christian held my hand or rubbed my forehead or played with my hair or had his handle of my leg. I always felt secure and safe. Now looking back, where were his hands before? It was the first part of November when I saw the first news clipping of bodies being found on the south side of Columbus.
Sunday, 30-year-old Shauna Sowers was found at this construction site off Groveport Road. 2 weeks ago, 29-year-old Kimberly Rogers was discovered in this cornfield near the same construction site.
At that time, I believe it was only just the first two women. We were at the corner bar and the TV was on.
Oh my God. Are you seeing this?
When it came on the news, Christian never seemed nervous. Never. He just seemed normal. So it wasn't something that I really paid attention to. Had I have known, I probably would have definitely paid more attention. Christian and I had planned to spend Thanksgiving night and day with my father. The night before Thanksgiving, he borrowed his boss's truck. And he was supposed to go do an errand or two and then come to my dad's house. But I was prepping some stuff to cook and he didn't show up. And then I started calling him and he didn't answer.
Hey, it's me. Is everything okay? I'm worried.
I called and called. I left messages. He didn't answer.
Call me, please.
So my mind started racing and I just started thinking he was with another girl. About 10 till 6 in the morning, he calls and asked me to come get him. And I was very mad.
Christian,
He said, I just got a flat tire. Will you come get me?
a flat tire.
Later, I found out when he called me to come get him, it was only because he needed somebody to pick him up from a murder scene.
For the third time in 2 weeks, another woman is found dead. She was lying next to this dumpster when the owner of this Ohio Wire building stumbled across her body.
When he showed up, he said, I was with my ex-wife and spent Thanksgiving with my son. And I said, okay. I believed him.
Detectives are still trying to get to the bottom of the murder mysteries and whether or not all three are linked.
The first time they questioned me was the day after Thanksgiving. It was a Friday. While Christian was gone, there was a knock at the door. There were two men that said they were with the police department.
I don't know if you heard what happened the other night.
No.
The detective stated that my boyfriend was a suspect in murder.
That's insane. There's no way.
In my mind, there was absolutely no way Christian was a murderer. I really believed they had the wrong person. I thought that they would realize they were investigating the wrong person. But the detectives wanted to know if Christian had given me any gifts.
He gave me a jacket once.
Can we see it, please?
Sure.
I went to go get the jacket out of the closet for the detectives. I went back and looked in my bedroom closet where I put it with all the other coats, and it wasn't there. And I told them, I don't know where it went. It was gone. It was there. I hung it up. It was there. And then it was gone.
I'm sorry, I can't find it.
They were concerned. The one detective gave me his card and said, give me a call.
If you remember anything, let us know.
Of course.
And then they left. At the time that the detective asked about the jacket and I didn't have it any longer, I didn't realize it was a crucial piece of evidence. but it directly connected him to that crime, to that poor girl. When I confronted Christian about what
I don't understand. Why are they investigating you?
They're probably looking at a bunch of people.
and reassured me, what I was already thinking and feeling, that they have the wrong person and this will go away.
They don't just question random people for murder.
Look, they're gonna find the right guy soon enough. Okay, I wouldn't worry about this.
He was very convincing and calm and didn't seem nervous. But when I confronted Christian on where the jacket was, I think it caught him off guard because at first he was like, "What jacket?"
Christian, they asked me about the jacket and I couldn't find it.
What jacket? What are you talking about?
I was like, "What do you mean, what jacket?"
It's not in the closet where I put it.
The answer was he didn't know.
Well, I don't know. It's obviously where you put it last. I don't even see you wear it.
There was nobody else that could have taken that jacket. He knew I knew that he did something with that jacket.
You want to investigate me? You want to waste your time with that? Knock yourself out.
But I never once doubted Christian's innocence. I honestly wanted to protect him, fix it, make it right, do everything possible for them to see they were investigating the wrong person. From the beginning, we were under surveillance. My cul-de-sac is really small. Leaving my house, I could see somebody sitting there. It was an unmarked car parked in my cul-de-sac watching my house for Christian. But he would laugh about it and just act like it was no big deal. There was one evening I went out with my girlfriends and Christian came to my house and waited for me to come home. The next day, he told me what he had done. After he got tired of waiting, he walked by the detective and knocked on the window.
Hi. Comfy?
And he, laughed about it. It was funny to him. Ha ha ha. I'm just sitting here doing nothing, so you just wasted your time watching me sit on her porch.
Can I get you anything? Beer? Cigarette?
Looking back, he was very arrogant and conceited and really thought he was going to get away with it.
You can follow me around all you want. You're never going to see anything interesting.
And I thought Christian had nothing to hide either. I really thought it was a mistake. After the homicide detectives came the first time and they gave me their card, I went and think of Christian, the line of work he did. He always had dirty hands and cuticles, and under his fingernails were always dirty. And one day his hands were sparkling clean. The only reason why it stood out is because it was something that I'd never seen before. From the time I met him, his hands were always dirty. Jokingly, I said, "Wow, scrub your hands with bleach." They were super clean. And it's really weird because when I garden, it takes a lot to scrub just a little bit of dirt from the garden off my hands.
I've never seen your hands this clean before.
Oh, haha, very funny.
His comment was he just wanted to look clean and look nice.
Really?
I actually do wash up on occasion.
It didn't dawn on me that it could be something very serious. A normal person doesn't look at clean hands and think of murder.
Come on, let's go. I'm starving.
But I was really trying to be honest and come up with anything, and it stood out. And I did call the detectives and I told them, coming home with clean hands doesn't say he's a murderer or out on a killing spree. But it was true. He had scrubbed his hands and I'm guessing bleach because he violently beat a girl to death. I think it was the one where he took the rock and crushed her head in. I think that's the one when he scrubbed his hands. It was probably around 2 in the afternoon when the detective called me on my house phone to tell me that they went ahead and arrested Christian. He wanted to let me know before I saw it on breaking news.
3 women were found murdered in 2 weeks, and police think this man is responsible for at least 2 of them.
And my heart stopped. I remember hanging up the phone and just screaming and crying like, this can't be real.
36-year-old Lisa Crow was found next to this dumpster off High Street on Thanksgiving Day. Just 4 days before, 30-year-old Shauna Sowers was discovered at this construction site near Groveport Road.
And I didn't know what to do. And I remember I paced the floors and I just sat there and I was...
A white line, a trail leading to this abandoned pickup truck. A truck with a flat tire that Fuhrer had borrowed from his boss.
When I saw the news, he had the same clothes on that he had on that afternoon when he left my house for lunch. And they had him in handcuffs and was walking him down the hallway. And I thought, I got to fix this. I got to make it right. They got the wrong person.
His killing spree began last November with the murder of Kimberly Rogers. By Thanksgiving Day, 2 more prostitutes, Shauna Sowers and Lisa Crow, were also murdered. Their bodies dumped in the same area.
They went ahead and arrested Christian. I couldn't accept it. Later that night, Christian called me.
Hello?
He told me he was innocent, this was a big mistake, and not to worry.
Well, are you okay?
When I heard his voice, I was just a mess.
Yeah.
He's like, they got the wrong guy, this is a mistake, they just gotta do more investigating. I'm innocent, I'm going to get out of here. Don't worry.
Okay, bye.
That night, I had all the local media wanting to come in and interview me. I just didn't believe it.
Amy Turos is Fuhrer's girlfriend. She believes this isn't the Christian she knows. Her Christian wouldn't hurt anyone.
He came over a couple times during the day-to-day to check on me, get me something to drink, turn the channel on the TV. Just perfect gentleman. At that moment, I believed with everything inside of me, they still had the wrong guy. He was planning on going to trial, but we never made it, and they went to him with a plea offer, and he accepted.
Fuhrer showed no emotion, no remorse as he accepted a plea bargain in the murders of Kimberly Rogers, Shauna Sowers, and Lisa Crow.
I wondered why he admitted to something that he didn't do. I wanted to prove him innocent.
Christian Fuhrer avoided the death penalty by agreeing to a plea bargain, but the serial killer could not escape justice. The judge sentenced Fuhrer to 3 consecutive life terms without the chance of parole.
I went to visit him and hold his hand.
Why would you take the deal?
Because we have time to find it now.
The story he told me, he pleaded guilty, so he didn't have to put me through the trial.
We can fight it together.
Okay. That, and because if he took a lesser charge and did life, he could appeal it, and then I would start the appeal process so he would get out. I thought, okay, that makes sense. Now we're just going to fight and appeal the life in prison instead of the death penalty.
I can't do this alone.
I love you. I wish I was educated in the way it worked, because I would have known that was a lie. Hang on. I need to get some. Can I go get some air real quick?
Serving 3 life sentences with no chance of parole, Christian Fuhrer will never walk the streets again. But the danger still lurks out there. Someone may have already picked up where he left off.
While Christian was already arrested, he was in jail. A 4th victim had been murdered. So it made it look like it wasn't him.
Since December, 3 more prostitutes have been murdered, with striking similarities. With one serial killer off the streets for good, police can only hope they don't have another one on their hands.
That also made me believe Christian was innocent because he was in the county jail. There was no possible way. So for him to say, see, it's not me, it's still continuing. I believed it. They do have the wrong person because it's still continuing with him being arrested. I was very faithful. I didn't date. I didn't even go anywhere. I would sit home and wait for his phone calls and write him almost daily. I actually ended up losing my job. I couldn't put it together. Those are just a handful of letters from Christian. For the last 18 years, I've had well over 1,000 plus letters. Rid of them. I had a good visit with you the other day. Do me a favor, and when the time comes to say goodbye, just don't leave. I know it'll come one day, 1 month, or even 1 year. When the time comes, say goodbye. I will miss you, but I will be happy for you, because you'll be happy and hopefully content. I think he knew eventually I would cut things off and say goodbye, but I would wait for letters to come in the mail. I would be so excited. I wouldn't plan to go anywhere because I didn't want to miss the mailman coming. Nobody but my dad knew about it. I had to keep it all a secret because so many people judge. In so many ways, they're right. Why would I stay in contact with a convicted serial murderer? For many years, my life revolved around him. It wasn't something easy. People that judge couldn't understand unless they had walked in my shoes. Christian told me he was going to send me a box of his belongings for safekeepings. When the package arrived, I was really excited to see what was in the box. And I went in my room and got on my bed and opened it up and thinking it was going to be some of his clothes or things like that. And it was paperwork and photos of his case. When I started to sift through the papers, it didn't take me long to realize this was the whole case file for 3 murders. Every police report, the actual photos of the bodies as they are found, I didn't know they had that much evidence. Looking through the case file, it hit me hard. He is guilty. There is just a flood of emotions. I had it in my hands when I accepted he was guilty. Every little thing actually became clear. The jacket, the night he went to pick his truck up, those clean hands because he brutally beat a woman to death. I had to accept that this person that was was a monster. I didn't want to turn to the next page. You can blink your eyes a million times, you can flip through a million pages, but those photos never go away. What I saw most people don't see. These are the women Christian murdered. I saw the photographs of them alive. And then I saw the raw, real pictures of their death. Each one of these women was somebody's daughter, maybe somebody's sister, maybe somebody's mother. They did not deserve to lose their life. I carry a lot of guilt, and the guilt is because I believed somebody that was so cruel. If I could say something to each one of them, I would tell them I am truly sorry that I defended guilty man and didn't fight them to get justice. I fought for Christian and not for these women. And that's something very hard to live with. What would give me closure, I believe, is for him to actually admit to me he did it. But I have never gotten the truth from Christian. To this day, he's never admitted it directly to me. He has lied to me for 2 decades. And I always wondered, did he really love me? Or was I just somebody to be there that he could count on and depend on? I have moved on with my life. I do not still love him, but it changed me as a person. He got into my soul. I question everything, not just my relationships, it's my friendships, it's anybody. I could be talking to somebody in a grocery store, and it's, what are you hiding? What's the other side? He is evil. He took lives. And I've thought over the years, like, what if there were other victims? Because he wasn't from Ohio, he was from New York. I want to believe there's not, but anything is possible.